Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Barcelona's game plan for the left wing position. We are going to be talking about the updates, who Barcelona is eyeing, and one of the players that Barcelona could go for that I am going to be recommending. There is plenty to discuss for today's video. It's going to be very exciting, and so let's get straight to it. And so it does say here, according to Mundo Deportivo, that Barcelona's set budget for a winger is around 55 to 60 million euros, meaning any player that is over 65 million euros, for example, Barcelona cannot achieve that player unless Barcelona do sell a couple of their players. But it does seem like Joan Laporta and Deco have no intentions to sell one of their big time players, which we are going to be talking about in a couple of minutes. So as of now, the alternatives is this: Luis Díaz, Rafael Leão, and Kingsley Coman. And Barcelona have made it very clear they are not willing to spend no more than 62 million euros on any of those players. And let me tell you, the only player that is actually achievable out of these three players, it is only Coman. Luis Díaz cost 70, Leao cost 95 million euros or 90 million euros. There is no way those two players can cost less than 60 million euros. And if you guys were wondering what happened with Luis Díaz, is it true that he is going to Manchester City? It has already been rolled off. It got rolled off within a span of 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, when I first heard this, I did not even believe it, because there was no way Luis Díaz was going to go to a rival club like Man City. And as a matter of fact, Luis Díaz is not only rejecting other clubs, but he is committed to stay at Liverpool. Sources have claimed that Liverpool are currently not planning to sell Luis Díaz, and he is expected to stay. Yes, it is true that Barcelona have also reactivated some dialogues, right? Some communications with Luis Díaz, but no movements ever really happened. So it seems like out of this list that we do have right now, Luis Díaz is off the alternatives because Liverpool don't want to sell and Luis Díaz costs too much money. As for Leao, we don't even have to speak about that player anymore because he is just too expensive. And the AC Milan are simply just building a humongous team. They have signed Morata, they have signed Emerson, they have signed some other center back. They have really been going in. So like I've said, it all leads towards Kingsley Coman. And we have spoken about this player before. One of the things that I really do not want is for Barcelona to buy the player. His injury history does not leave me at ease. If we look back at this picture here, he is averaging about 4 to 5 different injuries per season. He is not reliable. Barcelona investing in him would not give us a good return. Now, there has been other recent reports claiming that Kingsley Coman, while yes, he would love to join Hansi Flick's Barcelona, one of the clubs that he is prioritizing for sure and putting above anything else is the return to PSG. He wants to move back to PSG. He wants to move back to his country and join Dembélé. Now with Kylian Mbappe out the door and at Real Madrid, there is a place for Kingsley Coman, which is why the option of PSG really does attract him. So Barcelona may lose out on that player as well. So this whole alternative list that we have talked about in the past 48 to 72 hours, it does not even exist anymore because of various reasons. Barcelona's options are really diminishing. And you know, my biggest opinion about this transfer window is for Barcelona to go fully firing, even if it means that Barcelona have to go spending their last dollar, and that is to go for Leao. Even though he is very expensive, Leao would really complete this squad. 90 million euros though, it gives Barcelona no access. Barcelona have to sell a player that is around 50 to 65 million euros in order for this to even be imaginable, because there is a 30 million euro margin between what Barcelona can afford and what Leao does cost. Now we can talk about maybe selling Rafinha, maybe Frankie, but there has been reports once again about Rafinha saying he is very well aware that he does have options outside of the club, but he does want to stay. As for Frankie de Jong, one of the things that makes it so difficult to sell him is the fact that he's injured right now. And Barcelona, if they were to sell him as of now, it would be for a very low cost because he's currently injured. Why would we sell a injured player? And why would clubs bid high for a injured player? The only club I can see bidding high for Frankie de Jong is Manchester United. They have just gotten De Ligt. They have Lisandro Martinez. Ten Hag is still the coach of Manchester United. We can see a potential Ajax of 2019 return, but at Manchester United. And Frankie may see that as a very appealing option. But once again, Barcelona cannot sell the player because he is injured. And I have not even seen Frankie de Jong during the training sessions that we have been going through in the past 2 days. Where is he? Is there something going wrong? Is he going to be out for longer than expected? It makes Frankie's operation just unachievable. His exit does not seem likely, and most likely, I just think that Joan Laporta and Deco are going to be settling with Frankie having more continuity. One of the closest sales that we do have right now is going to be Mika Faye. He is the most likely to leave next out of all players. It has been said, according to Sky Sports, that Inter Milan are interested in Mika Faye. In my opinion, letting go of Faye is a huge mistake. I hope that Barcelona have some sort of leverage on Faye to bring him back in, whether that is a loan move or put in a purchase clause where we can buy him for around 25 to 30 million euros in case he does skyrocket at Inter Milan and eventually costs 70 to 80 million euros, because Mika Faye to me is a player that does give you exactly what you need within a team that is under management by Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick needs a defensive line that is athletic, that does have physicality, great and decent on the ball. Mika Faye gives you that. I understand understand that Barcelona are eyeing Eric Garcia for him to have continuity over Mika Faye, but letting go of Faye completely is a huge mistake, my friend. Do not let go of this player. I see Faye with humongous potential and eagerness to become one of the best center backs in the world. He had an amazing preseason, in my opinion. In those minutes that we have seen from him, he really did impress me a lot. And so if Barcelona do see the sale of Mika Faye as a way for us to maneuver a little bit more in the transfer market, then okay, fine. But please promise us and to us Barcelona fans that you make his return achievable in the near future if he ends up being a big time player. And so it's really difficult right now for Barcelona to really get some funds to achieve other operations. Like, yes, we can spend 60 to 65 million euros on a left winger, but really think about what we're actually doing here. If you look at the market and what left wingers are available, there's really not a lot. Like, there is some left wingers available in the world of football in general, but they cost more than 65. Spending 60 to 65 million euros on someone like Nico Williams was one hell of a steal, which is why it is so unfortunate to hear that Nico Williams decided to stay at Athletic Club. So it's really difficult for us to find a left winger that is at the level of Nico Williams, and especially around his price range and what Barcelona could afford, which leads me towards the next conversation. One of the players that has been talked about a lot by the Barcelona fan base has been Federico Chiesa, whose contract ends next summer in 2025. It is very much achievable for Barcelona to get this player in for 20 million euros, 40 million euros less than Nico Williams. And so let's look at his numbers, right? If we look at his overall career with Juventus, we can see that he has had 4 total seasons with Juventus so far. In his first season, he played 43 matches, had 14 goals and 10 assists. That is amazing, right? It was his debut season with Juventus, and that was his breakout season overall, right? It was the exact same year where he won the Euro tournament with Italy, and then came his big time injury, which led towards him diminishing his level. And from there, you can see that his numbers did decrease as the seasons and months went by. But then came the 2023-2024 season. He played 37 matches, scored 10 goals and provided 2 assists. That's not bad, right? It's one of the best seasons that he has had in his career so far. And in the previous season, he has been ranked in 6th place in the league when it comes to expected assist with a total of 5.6. Then he was ranked in 7th in the league when it comes to shot creating actions with a total of 4.79. Then he was ranked in 3rd place in the league when it comes to carries into the penalty area with a total of 58. That's really not that bad. And then if you look at his scouting report, according to FBref, he is in the 99th percentile when it comes to shot creating actions, and in the 97th percentile when it comes to progressive carries, and 91th percentile when it comes to progressive passes recovered. So it's really, really good. And if you look at his defensive numbers, he gives you a lot when it comes to pressing and needing to tackle, intercept, and block. For a winger like him, these numbers are massive, right? Because usually left wingers are not so good when it comes to tackles, interceptions, and blocks, but he knows how to tackle, he knows how to intercept, and he knows how to block, right? Is that Italian blood that he does have in him, right? It has been said and quoted that the heart of football defense is always Italian, and Chiesa does have that. So clearly we can also see that when it comes to the final third, he is very high volume in the attack, right? He carries the ball a lot. Now, what makes him very different to Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe is that Vini and Mbappe are very successful when it comes to carrying the ball into the final third and really creating goal-scoring threats, right? They are the real danger. Chiesa has yet to do that, because if you look at the radar here, you can see that Chiesa is very even with Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe when it comes to attacking actions, when it comes to passes recovered, when it comes to expected assists, passes to the box. But when it comes to expected goals, his level really does lower compared to Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe. And once again, it is because Mbappe and Vinicius last season had great support groups, which is the reason why their expected goals was so damn high. If you surround Chiesa with a better group, like let's say for example FC Barcelona, maybe he could perform much better and his expected goals can increase by a mile with Gavi, with Pedri, with Frenkie de Jong, with Lamine Yamal, and so forth. And moving on to his injury history, I know that many have been saying that, you know, Chiesa is a injury prone. I would say that he is not as big as a injury prone compared to Kingsley Coman. He is okay. The only big injury that he has had was back in 2021 when he did tear his ligament and he was out for a total of 45 matches and 269 days. But ever since then, he had like normal here and there type of injuries, very similar to what Frenkie de Jong has been through, or someone like Pedri, for example. So he can be reliable under the right conditions. So overall, this is a player that is trying to recover his old form for sure. Now the question is, does Barcelona have time to allow for that to happen, right? Because Hansi Flick and Joan Laporta want to build a winning squad, and right now, like in the next couple of days, we have a game this upcoming Saturday against Valencia, and then the next one is going to be against Athletic Club. Like, we need results now. Bringing in someone like Federico is basically lending him a chance to revive his career. It may work, it may not. The only thing that's good about this operation is that he's very cheap, and so if he does under deliver and he scores like 5 goals and provides 2 assists, then there's not going to be a lot of animosity between all parties, because he is only 20 million euros, right? It's not like we paid 60 to 70 million euros and he ended up underperforming. I believe that Barcelona in the end do need a left winger, and Chiesa would be a phenomenal signing because of his financial status and because of what he could bring, right? His potential. Nico Williams would have completed this squad for sure. future. Now Barcelona have to strive to get as close to that as much as possible. Barcelona clearly lacked a left winger against Monaco. The only real danger was Lamine Yamal, and so could Chiesa be our solution on the left flank to really make Barcelona complete on all areas of the pitch? Let me know in the comment sections down below. What do you think about this player Chiesa maybe being part of FC Barcelona? There has not been any links, any reports, any rumors about these two parties. It's just an alternative that I think could work in the future because there is very minimal risk on the player. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.